Friends, this question is software testing quiz 1 question paper. So consider the finite state machine FSM as given below. The FSM finite state machine diagram is given below. It consists of 4 states. So one is the starting state. Because why one is the starting state? There is an arrow, right? So the arrow represents the start state, and the final state is 4. That is double circle represents the final state or end of the states. So identify the statement that are correctly describe the above finite state diagram. FSM finite state machine. Okay, there are 4 options and given in the question, and which option is the correct to describe the FSM state. So what is this FSM finite state machine? So finite state machine keep the track of counts of binary counts. So it keeps the track of count of zeros and ones. Count of zeros and ones. So in this FSM diagram there are 4 states, and it counts the track of the zeros and ones. So in this given FSM state diagram there are 4 states, right? So this is the first state, that is the starting state, the start state 1. So at the start state we haven't processed any states, any inputs. So there is no work done at this start state. It doesn't count any number of zeros and ones. So there are odd numbers are starting from 1, 3, 5 and so on, right? So even numbers starting from 0, 2, 4, 6 and so on, right? State 1, state 2, state 3 and state 4 for every state. So that is the count of zeros and count of ones. Start state we have no inputs, no track of FSM at the start state, no track of the inputs. That is the parity, that is there is no zeros and no ones. So these are empty, both are empty. First represents the zeros, that is zeros Z and ones O, right? Okay, zeros Z and ones O. So number of zeros and number of ones are 0. That is the count at the start state is 0, both are 0. So count of zeros, that is Z equal to 0, and O ones we will represent not with O because both are same, right? Equals to empty, nothing. And for example y is the count of ones, okay? That is y equals to 0, y equals to empty at the start state, at this state, because we haven't processed any inputs, that's why. Okay, so there is 0 number of zeros and 0 number of ones, that is the count. So 0 means 8, so that is even, that both are even. Okay, state is state 2. How we will reach state 2? By 0, right? By 0 we reached the state 1 2, we reached the state 2 from state 1 with the changes the number of state 0. Numbers change the number of zeros to 1 addition, right? That is 1 0. Count is increasing. Number of zeros here nothing at the state 1. At the state 2 number of zeros are increasing, that is Z equals to 1. 1 0 is there. At the state 2 Z equals to 1. That means this one is odd number of ones at the state 2. At the state 2, because 0 is increasing. How we will reach the state 2? By 0, addition of 1 0. Count is increasing, and the y is same, number of ones is same, that is count of y equals to 0, that is even, odd and even. Okay, at the state 2 to state 3 by 1, right? Transition of state 2 to state 3 by 1. Addition of 1. That is one number is increasing. Here y is empty at the state 2. At the state 3, addition of 1. That is number of y's increases. Y count increases. Number of ones count increases. So z equals to 1 and y is also 1. Both are increasing. That is number of count of zeros. Zeros. These are zeros. This is the count of ones. Count of zeros is 1. 1 means odd number t. So z equals to 1. Odd by state 3. And y equals to also 1. That is odd. Both are odd numbers. Odd is the state 3 to state 4 by 0. The addition of zeros, right? That is the g count is increasing plus 1. So that is z equals to, z represents the number of count of zeros, right? That is increasing 2. And y is same, right? Y is same and y equals to 1. That is the number of zeros increased to number of ones count is same previous state. At the state 4, z equals to 2. 2 means even number and y equals to, that is the count of ones at the state 4 equals to 1. That is odd. Even and odd pair at the state 1, state 2, state 3, state 4. Zeros for ones. Okay, for ones. Zeros and ones. First one is both are even. Even pair. This is odd pair. This is also odd pair. So this is OE, odd even and odd. Okay. States in FSM. So FSM, every state initial or start state is 1, right? Start state is 1. It is given in the question. This is the one, start state arrow. So this is the final state because 2 circles represented, right? 2 circles. So the final the end state is 4, right? Double circle you can represent. That is, double circle means it accepting a state. String must be accepted by the FSM. It must be end at the state 4. So the string must be end at the state 4. Okay. So that is the start state is 1 and the end state is 4. So this is the FSM accepting string. FSM, this accepts the string. This accepts the strings. Okay. For the first option is it accepts all the strings that have odd number of zeros and even number of ones. So odd number of zeros, so O, and even number of ones, right? This one, it accepts all the strings that have odd number of zeros and odd number of ones. Both are odd number of ones. This option is wrong. It's corresponding to which state? Both are odd, right? So for the option A, both are odd. Both are odd means this one, right? State 3. So state 3, which is not an accepting state, which is not that it accepts the string. So state 1 does not have any inputs, right? State 1, it does not process, initial state does not process any inputs, and state 2 is also processing, state 3 also processing. The final state is 4, right? It accepts only strings which have not accepting any state. So this option is incorrect because the state 3. So next option B is it accepts all the strings as even number of zeros and even number of ones. So both are even, right? Even number of zeros and even number of ones. So that is state 1. This is state 1, right? This is option 2 is state 1. This is also not correct because the final state is 4th state, right? It's not the final state. This is also not correct. So next, the third option is it accept all the strings have odd number of zeros and even number of ones, right? Odd number of zeros on this one, state 2, odd number of zeros and even number of ones, that is state 2. This is also intermediate state, right? It does not accept the strings. So for the final answer is it accepts all the strings that have even number of zeros and odd number of ones, right? E and O. So this is the final state, E and O. This is the final state. It accepts all the strings. Okay, final state, that is initially we start at this state and the final state is this one. Is correct, the last option. Friends, thank you for watching. If you like my videos, please like and subscribe my channel.